Welcome back to True Tale Stories. The rain came down hard that Thursday evening, drenching everything in sight. At a small bus stop, 29-year-old Natalie Monroe sat on a worn bench, trying to shield her little girl from the cold October downpour. Her uniform was soaked from another double shift at the diner, her shoes patched with cardboard, and her body ached from exhaustion. But none of that compared to the heaviness in her chest. Inside her purse was an eviction notice, 3 days left before she and her daughter would lose their home. Beside her sat Lily, just 4 years old, clutching a one-eyed teddy bear named Mr. Buttons. "Mama, are you crying?" Lily asked softly. Natalie quickly wiped her eyes and smiled weakly. "No, baby. It's just the rain on my face." But children always know the truth. Lily pressed closer to her mother, trying to keep her warm. The bus was late, again. Natalie checked her phone. 2% battery. She sighed. Everything felt like it was falling apart. No money for a cab, no one to call, and no way to keep her daughter dry. Then, through the curtain of rain, Lily pointed down the street. "Mama, look." A man was walking toward them, wearing an expensive suit that was already soaked through. His dark hair was slicked back, and he moved with purpose, speaking sharply into his phone. "I don't care what the board thinks," he said. "If they can't support the expansion, they can find another CEO." He ended the call and slowed his steps when he saw Natalie and Lily huddled together. For a moment, he just stood there in the rain, staring. Then something softened in his expression. "Excuse me," he said gently. Natalie looked down, pretending not to hear. "Miss." He tried again. "Are you all right?" Lily tugged at her sleeve. "Mama, he's talking to you." "We're fine," Natalie said quietly. The man studied them, Natalie's tired face, the soaked diner uniform, the trembling little girl wrapped in her mother's thin jacket. "You don't look fine," he said softly. "We're just waiting for the bus," Natalie replied. He glanced down the street. The buses stopped running this route 20 minutes ago. There was an accident blocking the road. Panic filled Natalie's chest. How would they get home? It was too far to walk, and she couldn't afford a cab. Lily looked up at the man. "Maybe that man will help us," she said with the innocent faith of a child. The man's expression changed again, gentler this time. "Your daughter is right," he said. "I can help." He pulled out his phone. "Let me call you a car." "No charge." Natalie hesitated. Pride was sometimes the only thing she had left. "Why would you do that?" she asked. "Because someone helped me once," he said quietly. "And I never forgot." Before she could respond, he was already arranging the ride. Then he took off his suit jacket and handed it to Lily. "Here," he said. "You look cold." Natalie shook her head. "We can't accept that." "Please," he insisted. "It's just a jacket." But they both knew it wasn't just a jacket, it was kindness. Lily reached for it, and he draped it over her tiny shoulders. "What's your name?" he asked. "I'm Lily," she said. "This is my mama, Natalie. And this is Mr. Buttons." "Nice to meet you, Lily," he said with a smile. "I'm James." He glanced at Natalie. "May I sit?" She nodded. There was something about him that felt safe. James sat down on the wet bench, not caring about his expensive clothes. "So, tell me about Mr. Buttons," he said to Lily. And she did, talking about the brave teddy bear who protected her from monsters and loved peanut butter sandwiches. James listened as if every word mattered. Natalie watched him, unsure what to think. Why would a man like this care? When the car finally arrived, he helped them stand. "Your ride's here," he said. Then he handed Natalie a business card. "Thornton Holdings. I own a few properties," he said. "We're always looking for reliable people. Call me tomorrow. Ask for James Thornton." Natalie wanted to thank him, but the words caught in her throat. "I don't have experience with that kind of work," she said. "You have experience working hard," James replied. "That's what matters." As the car pulled away, Natalie saw him still standing in the rain, watching until they were gone. The next day, Natalie called. James answered on the second ring. "I was hoping you would," he said. 2 weeks later, she started a new job at his company, better pay, steady hours, and even a small apartment to stay in. No deposit required. Over the following months, James often stopped by her desk, sometimes to talk about work, sometimes just to talk. He met Lily again one evening when he drove them home in the rain. Lily's eyes lit up. "Mr. James, you came back," she squealed. "I promised I would," he said with a grin, holding up a tiny button. "For Mr. Buttons. He needs a new eye." And right there, in Natalie's small living room, the wealthy CEO sat sewing a teddy bear's eye back on while Lily giggled beside him. 6 months later, James asked Natalie to dinner. "Like a date?" she asked, blushing. "Exactly like a date," he said. "If you're interested." "Why me?" she asked. He smiled softly. "Because the night I met you, you had nothing, and you still chose dignity over despair. You never asked for anything. And you looked at me like I was a person, not a paycheck." 1 year later, Natalie and James were married in a small ceremony. Lily was the flower girl, scattering petals with a grin that could light up the world. During his speech, James said, "A year and a half ago, I thought I was having the worst day of my career. Then I met 2 people at a bus stop in the rain. I thought I was helping them, but they were the ones who helped me remember what truly matters. Sometimes, help comes from the most unexpected places. Sometimes a rainy night leads to a clear tomorrow. And sometimes, the kindness of a stranger can change everything." If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories of hope and unexpected kindness.